Dear students, welcome to your social class once again. Let's continue our lesson, the Russian Revolution. Now come to the point, peasants in the countryside. First of all, I will tell you what is the difference between the peasants and the farmers. Peasants are landless farmers. Peasants are also cultivating the land and farmers are also cultivating the land. But peasants do not have their own land while farmers have their own land. So naturally the peasants will be comparatively poorer than the farmers. Now what is the condition of these landless people? Peasants and countryside means village. Peasants in the countryside. In the countryside, peasants cultivated most of the land. The nobility, the crown means the king, and the Orthodox Church owned large properties. So in Russia, who owned large properties, you just take care, note it down that nobility, crown, Orthodox Church, they all owned large properties. Here peasants were divided on religious basis and they had no respect for the nobility. Now peasants were divided on religious basis. Some were Orthodox, some were Catholic, some were Protestant, some were Muslims. And they had no respect for the nobility because these nobles were the property owners. So they were also torturing these people, as because they were giving them work to do on their land, and they were torturing also. So that's why these peasants were not respecting the noble people. Nobles got their power through their services to the Tsar, not through local popularity. Now, how do the nobles got their power? They got their power through the services to the Tsar, not through local property. It means they were not popular among the people. They were popular. Why? Because they were working with the Tsar. That's why, and the Tsar was not good. Tsar was autocratic. He was doing all the decisions he was taking all the decisions on his own. He was not consulting his courtiers. He was not consulting anyone. And why the people were angry that the king is not consulting anyone? Because if the king will consult other people, then definitely those people can give their advice, their suggestions to the Tsar to rule in a good way, to rule in a kind and polite way. And also people were thinking that if elected government would be there, then they can also participate in the election, so that their complaints, their grievances, their suggestions would reach to the Tsar, and then decisions would be taken finally by the Tsar which would benefit them. This is what the people wanted, and this is only the correct rule of governing any country. In India, we also had kings. We also had very great kings like Akbar, Maharana Pratap, Shivaji, and Tipu Sultan, and so many Nawabs, and so many kings we had. And all of them, what they were doing? They were consulting, and they were not so cruel like these people in foreign countries. We Indians are lucky that we had very good leaders, we had very good kings in our country, and those whoever were very cruel, people also protested against them. You know very well all these stories. And here in Russia, this Tsar Nicholas II was very cruel, so people were against them. Naturally these down status people were against these high status people. Let us continue. So these noble, the crown, the Orthodox Church, who owned large properties, they were not popular locally through local popularity. They had their power through the services to the Tsar. Now in France also, you studied during French Revolution in Brittany. What is Brittany? Brittany is a region in France. Peasants respected nobles and fought for them. what happened there, it was totally different. That peasants were respecting nobles and they fought for the noble people. But in Russia, peasants wanted the land of the nobles to be given to them. In Russia, what happened? These peasants wanted that the land of the nobles should be given to them. And what they were doing, these peasants, they were refusing to pay the rent and they even murdered the landlords. Who were doing this? The Russian peasants. The Russian peasants wanted the land of the nobles also. For that, they refused to pay the rent. They even murdered landlords. In 1902, this occurred in large scale in South Russia. But later in 1905, such incidents spread all over Russia. So this was the condition of the peasants in the countryside. This story was going on. Then what happened? Russian peasants were different from other European peasants. Russian peasants were different from other European peasants. They pooled their land together. What they were doing? They were collecting taxes, they were collecting all the collections, and they were collecting the produce of their land together periodically, means time to time, 15 days, 1 month, and their mir divided the land according to the needs of the peasant families. What they were doing? Who was the commune? Who was the mir? I am telling you in detail that the commune who was he was we can say the leader. An association was there. An association was there in Russia where they were collecting all the peasants' produce and they were dividing it among the people according to the number of members in the family, so that everybody would get proper distribution and everybody can enjoy properly. This was commune. It is a very important question. What is commune? What is mir in Russian Revolution? The answer for this, it is a self-governing community of peasant households that elected its own officials. They were electing their own officials and controlled. They were also controlling local forest, fisheries, hunting grounds, and vacant lands. So this mir is a very important term in Russian Revolution. Now, I hope you have understood the peasants in the countryside in Russia, how they were tortured, and that's why they were against the noble. And what they started doing? They were not paying the rent also, they were murdering landlords, and also they used to do collections on their own, and they were dividing the benefits, their wages, their produce, their profits among those people only. Then what happened? How socialism came in Russia? We will study in the next video.